programımıza Sayın Hocamız Adnan Oktar'ın katılımıyla devam ediyoruz. Hoş geldiniz hocam.
Fikret Bey, hoş bulduk. Evet, dinliyorum.
Elbap operasyonunda 21 Aralık'ta yaralanan Özel Kuvvetler'de Assubay Selçuk Erdoğan bugün tedavi gördüğü hastanede şehit oldu.
In the Elbap operation on 21st December, Selçuk Erdoğan, the military officer, was just being hospitalized, but he was martyred today. He had an injury on his leg and the operation was just going on. And only afterwards he accepted to be hospitalized. They wanted to send him back to Ankara just to recover, but he did not accept that. He had certain arguments with the doctors. And Abdullah just described that he just went back to the region to carry out his struggle, and at that time he was martyred. He's definitely a lion-hearted one. He's a brave heart. May God be pleased with him. He's a courageous one. He has double hearts. He's such a strong one. This is how a person who God is pleased with acts like that, with courage, with determination, and with self-giving. This is how he acts. He's just dedicated and devoted himself to God's pleasure, to God's approval. May God accept his martyrdom. And may God prolong the life of their family. May God show guidance to his family members. Let us say our power is with unity of love. Today's hashtag on Twitter by Adnan Oktar is our power is with unity of love.
A Haber'de emekli istihbarat albay Coşkun Başbuğ İngiliz derin devletini anlatmış. Var mı videosu?
Evet, var.
On A Haber TV channel, Coşkun Başbuğ, he's a retired officer. He just talked about the British deep state. Have you got the video of this? Yes. ISIS, FETÖ, and PKK, they are being administered from the same headquarters. I just resembled these evil plans just perpetrated all over the world, just centered in Britain, actually. Because people just keep on talking about the British politics. Well, what is most important about Britain is they never come to the fore. They never make themselves apparent, actually. They just turn out to find puppets in different countries. For instance, in Syria, we find Russia, Iran, Turkey, the United States. They are involved in Syria, but we never hear about Britain. In the past, actually, they were just using certain countries as a tool. Britain was doing this, but right now we see that Britain is just putting certain terrorist groups to the fore. He has just given a great description, a great explanation of the British deep state. He's really a very brave, a very courageous person. And this is what we expect from Tayyip Erdogan. This retired officer from the Turkish military, he's really a very blessed person. Let us hear his words again. FETÖ, PKK, they are being administered from the same headquarters, from the same center. Well, actually, we see that all this evil perpetration in our world today are being centered, focused in the in Britain. What is particular about this country, actually, it never comes to the fore. It never makes itself apparent, but it's certain tools and puppets. And it tries to find instruments. For instance, in Syria, we see Russia, Turkey, Iran, but we never see that Britain is a part of these countries, because in the past, Britain was using certain countries, but right now we see that Britain is just making use of certain terrorist groups, and it's in concealment, it's hiding away. We see that this retired officer from the Turkish military, he just disclosed this very important truth, which was just kept as hidden in the last 200, 300 years since the Ottomans. We have just opened the way to this. We have just severed a great blow on the British deep state. And this is how our lives are just coming out with their great exposing
Tekrar
with their
tebrik ediyorum.
courageous statements against the British deep
Allah razı
state.
olsun.
He's definitely a
Allah
very
ömrüne bereket
lion-hearted, a
versin.
very blessed person. I'm congratulating
Böyle
our
yiğitlerin
officer in the
vesilesiyle
Turkish military.
İngilizlerin
May
devletini
God be pleased
kazıyacağız.
with them. May God prolong
İlimle,
his life
irfanla,
with his
kanun
blessings.
hukukla,
And by means
mükemmel.
of such
Çok güzel
courageous,
anlatmış.
brave hearts, we will be just
İdeal örneği
eradicating the
komutanım.
British deep state with intellect, with knowledge, and with law and order. The Prophet
Elleri
sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem said,
beyaz ve güzeldir diyor. Ve halimdir diyor. Hatta şeffaftır diyor.
Mahdi's hands are white and beautiful, and he's a Halim person. He's a gentle person. And the Prophet even describes his hands
Yani
to be
uzunca
transparent with beautiful complexion. He has white
Yanağında
soldiers,
dışa çıkık bir ben
and he
vardır.
has
Bir Harun
outward
en var.
inclined
İngiliz çevirisi
knees,
birinci
and he
cilt,
has a mole on
sayfa
his cheek.
439.
This is mentioned in Biharul Envar. This is the English translation, the first volume, page 39. This is how Mahdi is described with his physical attributes in Biharul Envar.
İstihbaratçı albayımızı görüyor musun?
Evet, maşallah.
Allah onu korusun, kollasın, başarılı kılsın, hayırla, bereketle sarsın.
İnşallah.
May God protect him. May God grant success to him. May God cover him with his blessings, with goodness. These are the lions, the sons of the Turkish Republic, the sons of the Ottomans.
Ahmet Hakan'a çıkmış.
And they're just going further with their moves of victory and with glory. And the British deep state will definitely be defeated. They will be in failure. Are we on air in the periscope?
Birçok kişi kurmuyor, kurmaz da. Çünkü içinde
Now, actually, many people do not enter into the world of Periscope because there are good people, bad people, there are ignorant people, there are reasonable people, there are wise people. There are all kinds of people in the Periscope circle. People do not really want to get in communication with them. For that reason, there is no system which teaches religion, or teaches the facts of creation, facts of religion. If those of the Periscope are just following you, listening to your words for 4 hours, actually, this means that you have made a great impact on them. We had this very important impact on the people who are part of the Periscope because they're just following words, every word speaking for a 4-hour period. This means that they have to now be under your influence. Satan has to control those people, and what we need to do is should not be annoyed with those people, but we save them from the hands of Satan and lose their control with Satan. With certain connection they have with us, they will lose the connection with Satan. Attacks. Satan only maybe invites them with that bad language, or just winning their hearts. We are entering into and we are making a major influence, a great impact on their hearts. And they will never forget the words that we have spoken. They will never forget the wisdom, forget the appearance, and they will never forget the words spoken here. They will never forget anything because this will be inscribed right inside their brains. And this is what we aim, really. We want to have that in salvation. We aren't only addressing good people because the good people, they have already been saved. But what were the prophets doing? The prophets were just trying to save people who were devastated, who were in idolatry, who were in all kinds of evil, in immorality, who had moral collapse. So this is how the prophets were addressing those people, to show them a path of guidance, to make them attain salvation. So in the Periscope, we are just addressing those people who have fallen into the hands, into the plots of Satan. There are no reason for any concern. because we may just address people who are drinking alcohol or who are not living by the tenets of Islam. We should definitely communicate Islam to all those people actually who are not aware of Islam. So what is most important really is for us to enter into those circles where Islam is not practiced wholly or Islam is slightly known by people. This is how we have to just make those people learn about Islam, because we are not addressing a mosque community. We are not teaching people with the things they already know. So it's really very important for us to address those people who are a part of the Periscope, and they write messages saying that they have somehow been hypnotized and they cannot ever leave the program. Well, that is hypnosis, but what occurs is a rabta, that is spiritual connection that we have with them, and they get connected with us spiritually, even though they shout, they write some bad language. Satan's influence over them is just removed.
Birçok Müslüman gidip meyhanede tebliğ yapmaz ama biz gider yaparız. Mesela birçok Müslüman bu periskop ekibiyle bağlantı
There are many Muslims who would not go and communicate religion maybe in pubs and in places where people drink alcohol, or there could be many Muslims who may not communicate with those people who are followers of the Periscope because they have all kinds of maybe ignorance. Those they have to be illuminated, to be saved from the influence of Satan. Maybe not all of them. Most of them are under the influence of Satan. But we will definitely communicate with them. We will teach them the truths. What was the Prophet doing? He was just visiting the Ukas Bazaar, but the prostitutes there, they were needed people, perverts, idolaters, people who were perfidious, and there were also good people there. And what was the Prophet doing there? He was just walking around, he was just traveling through the bazaar, and he was communicating religion, he was communicating Islam. So definitely Muslims would never say, why am I here? Because you will see that after we communicate religion there, after 2 months, 3 months, we will see that they will be corrected. They will turn out to be good people, good Muslims. And we were in the Mimar Sinan University, in the academy actually, in 1980s, when there were all kinds of terrorists and anarchy in your school, in the university campus, and you were communicating Islam there. You were on your own criticizing me. They were telling me that I would be killed, I would be attacked with a communist friend named Ibrahim. He was living in Ankara. He's a reputed person. And he said, this friend told me they would just shoot me, and I told him that surely everything is a part of destiny. It's really so amazing that we have the British deep state right before us. The British deep state is so strong in the appearance actually, but we are a minor group. We are only a small group of friends, but we are just making such a major impact on them. And we see that the entire Turkish people, they have been just standing against the British deep state with a spiritual awakening. And everyday lions are just speaking with great power and influence, and the British deep state is just exposed by the Turkish people. There is no mastermind. The mastermind is actually the British deep state. It has been concealing itself away in the last 300 years, but we just brought down the veil, and now they are open, they are exposed. Our hashtag on Twitter is in Turkey Trends. Our power is with unity of love, and Darwinist education should be removed. This is really so nice that these are both hashtags with very important messages.
Dinliyorum.
Dünya basınında bugün yayınlanan makaleleriniz şunlar Adnan Bey. Katar'ın en büyük Arapça gazetelerinden El Raya'da
I'd like to give information about your articles published in world media. In Qatar's El Raya, which is the greatest Arabic newspaper in Qatar, you have written about Myanmar, saying that the Rohingya people, they have been just persecuted in Myanmar for a long time, and all the Muslims should definitely stand against this persecution, and you are just making a call to the Myanmar government to stop their tyranny against the Rohingya people. In Malaysia's greatest newspaper, in Berita Harian, your article is published in Malaysian. You're writing about the terrorist attack that was carried out in a nightclub in Istanbul on the New Year evening. You are giving the message that there should be an educational campaign throughout Turkey, and all the Turkish people should definitely act in union with the law enforcement. In the Burma Times, you have written about the Rohingyas, victims of ethnic cleansing. You are describing that even though there was a new government in Myanmar with a new president, nothing has changed in the country and the tyranny is just going on. You're just addressing the entire Muslims to have a unified stance against this persecution. You are written about the intracellular molecular machines that perform protein care and cleanup. You are giving the scientific advancements teaching that there's a quality control system right inside the cell, which is just eliminating the degraded proteins by making a special control system. And you're just describing that all these scientific findings show us that
moleküler düzeydeki olay.
All these intricate systems are created by God.
Her gün bundan anlatalım.
And Almighty God has power over all the details. Just be prepared. Let us teach about all these molecular details. Every day we may just talk about these topics, but there should be not lengthy statements, but concise and very insightful information given about all these particular facts of creation, including the cell and molecular systems.
Rafsanjani ile ilgili bir haber var mı?
Var.
Evet, var Adnan.
Eski İran Cumhurbaşkanı Rafsanjani'nin öldüğü açıklandı.
Is there any news about Rafsanjani?
82 yaşında hayatını kaybetti.
The former Iranian President Rafsanjani has passed
Allah
away.
kanı gönlü rahmet etsin.
He was 82 years
Allah
old
makamını
when he
cennet
passed
etsin,
away.
Allah cennette kardeş etsin.
May God pour his
Kendisini
mercy
iyi
on him.
biliyoruz.
May God grant him paradise.
Bütün
May
İran
God
halkına
make us
başsağlığı diliyoruz.
brothers
Cenab-ı Allah
in heaven.
onlara
We
uzun
knew
ömür versin,
him to be a good
devletlerine bereket,
person.
güzellik, hayır versin. Huzur içinde yaşamalarını Allah nasip etsin.
May God
Hidayetle.
prolong the lives of the entire Iranian people. May God grant them serenity. May God show the entire Iranian people guidance. And may God make us brothers with them in heaven.
Kartane ile ilgili resim var mı sende?
Var, evet.
Have you got photographs of
Bilgi
this
verecektim bununla ilgili.
snowflakes?
Tanesi küçük bir toz tanesi etrafından oluşmaya başlayan bir kristal Adnan
We
Bey.
can show the
Büyüklüğü sadece
snowflakes.
birkaç mikron kadar. Meydana gelen bu
A
mikroskopik şekil
snowflake
altıgendir ve
actually
oluşan bu
forms
kristal köşelerinden itibaren
into a
küçük kollarını
crystal.
uzatarak gitgide gelişir. Hava
It is
soğudukça
just built
ortamda
on top of a
eşitlikçe
certain
kristal
dust
büyür.
particle,
Oluşan yapı üzerinde
and then it
kıvılcım
just
uzantılar
turns into
oluşur.
this crystal appearance in this special
Birbirlerine
structure,
değişik bir bağ ile bağlanırlar. Bu durum
and
kristallerin
special
birbirlerine
protrusions
farklı şekillerde
occur
bağlanmalarına sebep
by means
olmaktadır.
of a
Bu
special
farklılık o kadar büyüktür ki her bir kar tanesi
molecular connection between the atoms,
Çok büyük olay.
and this special design in the
Hepsinin böyle bu
atoms
kadar süslü olması.
give this beautiful appearance to the snowflakes, but they all have distinct designs. They have their own particular special forms. They all look like jewelry, really. They are so amazing and beautiful in their appearance.
Geçtiğimiz günlerde bir İngiliz diplomatın itiraflarından sonra ikinci bir itiraf da CIA ajanı Robert David Steele'den geldi Adnan Bey. Suikastler, elektrik kesintisi gibi saldırılar devam edecektir. Türkiye'nin
There was another statement made by a former CIA agent.
Amerikan Büyükelçiliği düzenli şekilde yalan söyler.
saying that Turkey is just encountering an asymmetrical warfare.
Bir Amerikan vatandaşı olarak bu durumdan büyük bir utanç
It
duyuyorum
is the
dedi.
fact that
Fotoğrafında görebiliriz.
the USA embassy and the British embassy, they keep on telling lies and they carry out all kinds of deceits. And he stated with clear words that I'm embarrassed
Tebrik ediyorum seni.
to be a citizen.
CIA ajanı Steele, Trump hakkında da açıklama yaptı. Obama bir kuklaydı, para için bu işi yapıyordu.
The CIA agent still just made another statement about Donald Trump, saying that Obama was only a puppet. He was just trying to gain some finances. But Trump was elected honestly, but there are certain people of establishment who are surrounding him. Most probably, he's one of the presidents who will be just so difficult to control after the Kennedy, and he was a person who was assassinated. I believe that he wants to give an end to NATO establishment, but most probably
Ama işte iyi yanı olayın
we will be just looking
Trump'ı biz
how events will turn out to be in the close future, in the near future. But what is most important is we will give support to Trump. We, as the Turkish nation, we will give support to him, including the Turkic republics and the Islamic world.